Saekano How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend is one of those series that I stumbled upon and I had no idea it even existed, but after watching the entire series, I got myself into a really interesting story that really had a very solid ending as well. But the thing that really made this series more memorable for me was just the deeper message that it had. Now you can pretty much sum up this entire story as basically a series about our main protagonist named Tomoya, who is very open about being an otaku. I mean, he loves animes, light novels, mangas, stuff that even an actual human being in the real world can also enjoy. Because he loves these things and has a deep passion for it, he decides to make a game that would really touch people's hearts. But of course, he can't do this all on his own. He's going to need to have a team, and he's able to do just that in the series. He is able to get people that actually know how to illustrate and write good stories. And this is where we're introduced to the other characters of the series. Eriri, who is actually Tomoya's childhood friend, is actually very good at drawing. While she may seem like a very normal person who is not only popular, and it also seems that she could get along with everyone, but there is a secret that no one really knows. Only a few select people know about her secret, and that is the fact that she is actually a doujin artist. Yes, you heard me right, she is a doujin artist. For those who don't know what doujin is, let's just say it's a genre that has a lot of spicy content. And then we meet Utoha, who is somebody that is really good at making stories. In fact, some of Tomoya's favorite stories were made by her, and you can quickly tell that Tomoya has a lot of respect and pretty much appreciates everything that Utoha does. It's very clear that Utoha is very creative, and it's very clear that she is really good at making a very interesting story. So with these people, Tomoya is very confident that he can make a game that will pretty much make a lot of people interested in it and want to play it. But of course, there's this one issue. He needs some sort of inspiration, and very quickly he will be able to get that as he meets a girl who goes by the name of Megumi, who doesn't really seem to have a lot of emotions and seems that she is very expressionless. But nonetheless, after Tomoya meets this girl, he is very inspired and wants her to be the main character of his game. And throughout the series, we see the entire characters working their hardest to make this game happen. And of course, while there is some set of problems and Tomoya quickly realizes that making a game isn't all that simple, he is able to push through because he is that passionate of making this game happen. But of course, not everything is going to be easy, and not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows, as very quickly as the series continues, we come to find out that there are certain characters in the series that clearly have different priorities, and it's very clear that they have bigger dreams that they want to achieve. And that is something that we will slowly see in this series, as it's very clear that certain characters realize that they're going to have to make sacrifices, or they're going to have to do things that they think is best in order to achieve their dreams. This is clearly shown with both Utoha and Iriri, as even though they don't mind working with Tomoya, and it's very clear that they want to do this for him, at the same time you can slowly see that this is not the thing that they want to mainly focus on. Unlike Tomoya, who is putting everything for this project to be made, Eriri and Utoha clearly are wanting to do things that are even more bigger. They want to focus on more bigger projects. It's not that they think Tomoya's project is stupid or anything, it's just that what they believe that they are currently doing isn't going to get them closer to the dreams that they want to achieve. And they have their moments where you can tell that they clearly don't want to have these kind of thoughts, but it's something that they can't avoid, because unsurprisingly, another reason why they're sticking with Tomoya and trying to work with this project is because they also have feelings for him. Both Eriri and Utoha express very clearly that they have romantic feelings for Tomoya. This creates a conflict in which they have to decide what they want to do. Do they still want to follow and achieve their dreams, and that is by abandoning the project and pretty much abandoning Tomoya as a whole, or do they stick by him but at the cost of them not being able to get closer to their dreams, since they both have established that they already put their names out there and they have gotten a very decent popularity, but that's not really enough, since if they want to get more popular and they want to be more famous, they're going to have to work on more bigger projects and projects that really sell. This is what really makes the series all the more interesting, because this is something that's not far from reality. There are people who clearly want to achieve the dreams that they want to do. Some people have dream jobs that they want to be able to be in, but at the same time, these aren't going to be very simple. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices that some people are going to have to make in order for their dreams to happen. This is something that could be very tough for a lot of people because they don't know which decision is the correct decision to make. And I like how this series is very clearly showing us that sometimes achieving your dreams could be the main priority, and you have to oftentimes abandon the people that you care about in order to make these dreams happen. Sure, they might see it as you being selfish, or they might see you as a terrible person for trying to achieve a dream that may be a 50% chance that it could happen over the people that care and love you. That is something that a lot of people may experience, and they might have a difficult time choosing what is going to be the correct decision, what is going to be the thing that they want to focus on, and how it will impact their lives forever. And ultimately, Eri and Utaha will make the decision that will change their lives and affect the relationship that they have between them and Tomoya, in which they both decided to pretty much abandon Tomoya to achieve their dreams. And it's not like it was an easy decision or they didn't get emotional doing this, as it's very clear that they feel bad for what they're doing. In a way, they realize that they are pretty much going to throw the love that they have for Tomoya to the side just so that they could have a chance to achieve their goals. And while many people may say this is a terrible thing to do to someone, just pretty much abandoning them like they were nothing, you can also understand Utaha and Eri's point of view, as you come to understand that they realized that they were going to have to make a decision eventually, because the more time that they wasted, the more time they weren't going to get anywhere. But with that being said, it didn't mean that both Eri and Utaha were complete angels. They also did things that were also messed up. Like for example, in Utaha's case, when she was telling the news to Tomoya that she was going to cut ties with him completely, she had a lot of opportunities to talk to him about these kind of things, but she just decided to throw this all out in the very last minute. Had she talked things through to Tomoya, telling her her true intentions, telling her true feelings about the current situation that she is in, I feel like while yes, Tomoya would have been bummed out and would have been sad that Utaha chose her career over the game that he wanted to make, at the same time he would have been completely understanding, and he would have probably wanted to root for Utaha to still go after her dreams, because that's the kind of person Tomoya was. I mean, he did look up to both of these girls, and he was always there for them during tough times. So had Utaha and Tomoya talk things through, I feel like while yes, the news would have still made Tomoya very sad and clearly would have had an impact on him, he would have seen it coming, and he would realize that at some point it was eventually going to happen, since like I said, if they talked things through, Tomoya would have still been very understanding and would respect the decision that Utaha made. And then there's Eri, in which it wasn't even the first time that she abandoned Tomoya. As we come to find out, like I mentioned earlier, these two were childhood friends, and at a very young age, these two expressed how much they enjoyed anime, manga, stuff like that, and they seemed to be very close, showing us that Tomoya and Eri were really good friends back then. But of course, these two ended up being a target for the other kids to pick on, as very quickly the other kids would start calling them the otaku couple. Of course, this bothered Eri and Tomoya a lot. While Tomoya ended up trying to defend both him and Eri decided to go to a different direction and just completely ignored Tomoya and pretty much just completely cut him off from her life. And of course, this bothered Tomoya because it seemed that she chose her image more than her friendship with him. And she didn't make things any better when she refused to apologize for what she did. In fact, she expected an apology from him for some reason. And yeah, you can see why a lot of people weren't huge fans of Eri, because it's very clear that she didn't learn anything from her actions that she did back then. So because of these reasons, it's very clear why during the moments she chose her career over Tomoya is considered a second betrayal, because she once again betrayed Tomoya because she wanted to focus on her career rather than stay with Tomoya, because she realized that it was just simply not meant to be. She wasn't going to get anywhere if she was still around Tomoya. So with these reasons, it's no wonder why a lot of people were perfectly fine when Megumi was the one to end up with Tomoya, as not only was she always by his side, and she really meant it. Like, she was very open about the fact that she was going to be with Tomoya no matter what. If he was ever in trouble and he needed help, she was always going to be there no matter what, which is why moments in which she was obviously mad that Tomoya wasn't being honest with her showed just how much she deeply cared about Tomoya, but it was very clear that she wanted the best for him. And Tomoya realized this very quickly, as he noticed that he wasn't being honest with Megumi, and he decided to apologize for that, because he realized now that Megumi was always the person that was with him no matter what. And then later on, both Utaha and Eri will eventually find out that clearly Megumi and Tomoya's relationship has gone further, but they realize that there's nothing to be done, as they already made their decisions to leave Tomoya. So it's very clear that they did redeem themselves in a way, as they both come to an agreement that they don't really deserve Tomoya anymore. If there's one person that deserves Tomoya, is none other than Megumi, as she was always there there for him, something that they can't really say because, well, they made the decision to abandon him and choose their careers over him. This was all the more reason to just show us just how difficult it is to make very hard decisions that will impact not only your life but also the relationships that you have with other people. Utaha and Eri eventually realized that they pretty much no longer had the rights to have Tomoya to themselves. No matter if they still had feelings for him, it no longer mattered because they already made the decision that they wanted to do, and now everything is pretty much already set in stone as to who will end up with Tomoya, and that will be none other than Megumi. But of course, that doesn't mean that the series will end on a very sad ending. In fact, it was a very happy, heartwarming ending, as eventually years gone by and Tomoya and Megumi are still together enjoying their lives, but we soon find out that they're still in contact with Eri and Utaha, as well as the other people that they are close with as well, showing us that everything that they went through and all the things that they had to happen to them didn't really affect the relationship drastically. Sure, obviously these are things that they probably will never forget, but it's all in the past now, and they are all eventually moving on and focusing on the things that they want to do and enjoy. And I feel like that was a great way to end this series, and overall this is the reason why a lot of the moments in this series are very memorable, and they're always moments that I get reminded of, because while this series could have been easily another typical rom-com, it's very clear there was a more deeper message once you watch this series numerous times and you come to realize that this series was trying to show us how every decision you make in life not only affects your life but also the people around you, and how sadly some people are going to have some tough times choosing what to do with their lives or making decisions that will probably affect in some sort of way the relationship with the people around them. And that is something that's unfortunately going to still happen as time goes on. People are going to have to make sacrifices and decisions in order to achieve the goal or the dreams that they want to achieve, and it's not always going to be easy or very simple to do. And I'm really glad I watched this series, because now this series has become one of my favorite series of all time. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.